Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Former WWE manager Jim Cornette recently spoke about Roman Reigns and the Usos taking on the Bloodline at Crown Jewel. The match kicked off the premium live event this past weekend in Saudi Arabia. Roman teamed up with his cousins to take on the might of the Bloodline at Crown Jewel. The six-man tag team match had its ups and downs, but finally, the Bloodline emerged victorious as Solo Sikoa hit the Samoan Spike on Reigns for the win. Later, Sami Zayn came out to help Roman and the Usos from a beatdown. However, he ended up hitting a hell of a kick on the original Tribal Chief. This week on the Jim Cornette Experience, the veteran manager felt the whole match was created to build the storyline further. He felt WWE was trying to tell the story of how the old Bloodline members were still not on the same page. Cornette detailed the storyline would continue with more twists and turns in the coming weeks. Again, a bump in the road to true domestic bliss here. The match, it was the finish and a reason to do the angle. They'll have a package of the angle on Raw and move from there. 8:50 to 9:08, Sami Zayn will face-to-face with Roman Reigns on SmackDown this week on Raw. Sami Zayn walked out in front of an electric crowd to explain his actions. He spoke with the Usos and made it clear that he did not want to go through with being a team again. During the emotional exchange, Jey Uso declared Sami Uso as his family member and urged him to show up on SmackDown this Friday to resolve things with Roman Reigns. It will be interesting to see what Sami has to say to Roman Reigns when the two stars meet this week on SmackDown. The clash between Roman Reigns, the Usos, and the Bloodline at WWE Crown Jewel has been one of the most talked about moments in recent wrestling history, and many fans are curious why WWE decided to stage this family feud at such a high-stakes event. In an exclusive interview, a former WWE manager opened up about the storylines, backstage dynamics, and decision-making that went into bringing this explosive match to life. The vision behind the Bloodline feud, the former manager, who has decades of experience working with top WWE talent, explained that the seeds for this match had been planted long ago. From the beginning, WWE saw something incredibly unique in Roman Reigns' persona, especially once he embraced his Tribal Chief role. But the real magic began when they introduced the idea of the Bloodline as a faction, including Reigns' cousins, the Usos. It was a way to bring a sense of authenticity and depth that hadn't been done in years. We're talking about family, heritage, loyalty, and betrayal, all the elements that make great drama. According to the manager, WWE knew that the storyline was gold, and they took every opportunity to elevate it. The Bloodline story has been crafted over years, slowly building tension and giving fans just enough to keep them hooked. And with the influence of someone like Paul Heyman behind the scenes, they were able to elevate it to a near-Shakespearean level of storytelling. There was no better time than Crown Jewel, a global stage, to finally bring this story full circle with a family showdown. International appeal and the Saudi Arabian market. Another reason WWE chose Crown Jewel for this match was the significance of the Saudi Arabian market. The manager explained, Crown Jewel is one of WWE's biggest annual shows, and the company always wants to bring its top-tier talent and most compelling storylines to that event. Saudi Arabia is an emerging market for WWE, and they wanted to showcase something that could capture fans worldwide. The Bloodline story, which explores universal themes like family conflict and loyalty, was perfect for that stage. It's relatable and dramatic, which makes it the ideal storyline for an event with such a large, diverse audience. The former manager added that the Saudi government and WWE had worked closely to create a memorable experience for fans. WWE had to think about how to present a spectacle that would honor the company's commitment to its fans in Saudi Arabia. This was a high-stakes event, with millions watching around the world. A family feud involving Roman Reigns and the Usos, the undisputed faces of WWE's current era, was the kind of grand, emotional storyline that could leave a lasting impact on the international audience, creating tension between Roman and the Usos. The former manager also revealed that the build-up to Crown Jewel was deliberately paced to maximize tension. The team wanted to bring a natural progression to the story, highlighting the Usos' growing discomfort with Roman Reigns' dominance and control. When you watch those segments where Roman is ordering his cousins around or questioning their loyalty, it's not just acting, there's a sense of reality there. They've grown up together, they're genuinely close, so seeing these characters turn against each other feels personal for fans. WWE Creative wanted to blur the lines between fiction and reality, making the story resonate on an emotional level. In the months leading up to Crown Jewel, fans witnessed escalating tensions as Roman's ego seemed to clash with his family's unity. You saw the Usos beginning to question Roman's leadership, and that's when you know the story is working. The fans started to wonder, how much longer will they put up with this? Is Roman pushing them too far? WWE knew the best way to get fans invested was to make them care about the Usos' loyalty, and they succeeded. Behind-the-scenes dynamics with Paul Heyman, the former manager, pointed out that Paul Heyman's role was crucial to making this story come alive. Heyman is a master of psychology in wrestling. His presence adds a layer of complexity to Roman's character and the dynamics within the bloodline. Heyman has a way of making everything feel like it's part of a larger plan, and fans are always left guessing his motives. Is he loyal to Roman, or is he setting something up for himself down the line? That ambiguity makes him the perfect consigliere for Roman's tribal chief character. According to the manager, Heyman was also instrumental in orchestrating how the story would climax at Crown Jewel. There were a lot of conversations about how to portray the family tension without overshadowing Roman's dominance. They wanted to show that Roman is the clear leader, but the Usos aren't pushovers either. Heyman helped shape that dynamic, making sure it was subtle yet explosive when it needed to be. It's a balance that only someone with Heyman's experience could pull off. The impact of the Crown Jewel match on WWE's future. For WWE, the Crown Jewel match wasn't just about the present storyline. It was also about setting up future storylines and opportunities. WWE has been focused on building stars who can carry the company into the next decade, and Roman is obviously a huge part of that. But there's also an understanding that he won't be around forever. The Bloodline storyline allows WWE to elevate the Usos as individuals, potentially preparing them for singles runs in the future. Fans are invested in their journey, and WWE knows they have a unique opportunity to create lasting stars from this storyline. He added that the outcome of the Crown Jewel match left the door open for further development. If the Usos do manage to gain some independence from Roman, it could lead to future clashes that are just as compelling. Imagine the possibilities if Roman and the Usos eventually team up again, only to have lingering trust issues. Or maybe they go their separate ways and become major rivals. WWE has countless options, and the Crown Jewel match was the perfect place to start exploring them. Fan reactions and critical acclaim. The former manager acknowledged that fan reactions to the Bloodline feud have been overwhelmingly positive. You can see it online, and at live events, fans are fully invested. They're debating, theorizing, and picking sides, which is exactly what WWE wants. The storytelling has been so rich that it's brought back lapsed fans and created new ones. WWE knew they had something special, and Crown Jewel was their chance to show that they're committed to long-term storytelling. He believes the critical acclaim for the Bloodline storyline will continue to resonate within WWE. This isn't just about ratings or ticket sales, it's about reminding everyone why they love professional wrestling. This storyline taps into emotions, it brings out the best in the performers, and it shows that WWE can still tell complex, engaging stories. The reaction to Crown Jewel proves that fans appreciate it when the company invests in meaningful storytelling. Final thoughts on the future of the Bloodline. In closing, the manager shared his thoughts on where the Bloodline storyline might go from here. I think WWE has only scratched the surface with the Bloodline. Crown Jewel was a major turning point, but I don't believe this is the end. There are more layers to uncover, more conflicts to explore, and more betrayals to witness. As long as WWE keeps the storytelling strong and the characters compelling, the Bloodline could remain one of the most iconic storylines in wrestling history. He concluded with a nod to the fans. Ultimately, it's the fans who keep this story alive. They're invested, they care about these characters, and that's what makes wrestling so powerful. Crown Jewel was just one chapter in a much larger story, and I can't wait to see what happens next.